computer. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Sarah.
Okay, we're trying this out for anybody who's watching. Um, I was in the woods yesterday and I was thinking about how Erin has this big thing going on. She's launching a couple of children into college. And I was thinking how lots of people are doing the same thing. And when Erin and I talk about things, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, how do we bottle this up and share it with people? So I thought maybe Erin and I would talk about her launching her kids and share it so that people know how Happy You handles big things like launching your kids to college.
Yeah, great. It hasn't
Okay.
been easy.
No, tell me how it's been going and what you've done to make it
Um,
better.
so I have one kid going to college and one kid going to Italy who is going into her junior year of high school. So I'm letting go of her a little bit early and becoming an empty nester before I had planned. And I have been so excited for her and for this opportunity and for my son. Um, I was doing great up until about 2 weeks ago when when I was packing up from to head back home from the summer, and I suddenly realized as I was thinking of taking something with me that we could do. I found some beads and I was like, oh, Kate and I could do that this year. And then I realized she's not going to be here to do that. So that's when the tears started. And they really didn't stop for maybe until yesterday. And I'm not sure they have stopped. They haven't really stopped. She's not launched yet. Um, but it opened some sort of a floodgate where I began to think about what it would be like. I've been really good about being in my present moment because that's something we work on a lot. And I think what happened there is I began to think about what it's really going to be like when both of my kids are gone. But I have thought about that in a lot of ways. I've thought about it as an opportunity. What can I do work wise? What will that be like for my husband and I? Will we travel more? Will we just have more space in our schedule? All of that. But this time it was more about her. And I've gotten really close with her this year. So it began to feel hard to say goodbye. And it's obviously still feels hard.
Okay, so the tears right now, these specific tears, what is the thought that you were having when they
It's because I'm telling the story.
telling the story about the goodbye story?
Yeah, I'm telling the goodbye story. And here's the thing, she's right there in the kitchen. I can hear her making her avocado toast. She's still here. There's nothing to cry about.
Okay, I know this. I thought you were saying something else. You're like, they're from the goodbye story. Yes, we're telling the whole story, but you talked about the beads you didn't cry. You talked about how you've gotten
Yeah.
closer, you didn't cry. What
Oh,
was the
right.
thought that made you cry?
Maybe the thought of
I'm thinking this might be the thought.
it. It's totally the
This
thought.
might be
It
the
totally
one.
is. I can't even say it. It's the thought of how close I am to her and what it's going to be like without her. That's the thought.
Yeah, but this is
But
You
I'll
know.
say it for you because you gave me this advice yesterday and I didn't like you when you said it.
Okay.
But you said, is it possible that this isn't sad? And that she's going to do her thing and you're going to be really excited for her and that she's still here right now and that you'll deal with it as it comes. And I didn't like it because it was advice that I didn't want to hear yesterday, but I also know it's true. So I tried to be more in the present moment, and that actually really helped. I mean, she's still here, and I'm going to be really sad when I say goodbye.
Okay, that's a story too, babe.
That's the story too. I'm making that up. I don't know. That
And
happens
then
in
you're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be bad.
gonna be
It's gonna be
bad. I
so
know, but
bad. I better pack the tissues.
you know what? What if I told myself the story that I'm gonna be really excited for the opportunity that she has, and then I'm gonna feel that excitement with and for her instead of seeing it as a loss.
I mean, you're the
Because
one
it's
that
not a
taught
loss.
me
I
this.
mean, she's
You
still
remember when
there.
Bella went and
Yeah.
like you were like, that was huge for me to watch that happen. Bella
Yes.
left early. And when I would talk to you about it, you would be like, yeah, it's hard. But when we talk in those 20 minutes once a week, it is more connection, more deeper connection, really talking
Yeah.
than the, hey, mom, can you take me? Mom, I got to go to Target. Hey, mom, I
Right.
forgot to pick up my dry clean, like whatever. Like
It was all
you,
quality.
it
Yeah.
was always all quality. And then she
Yeah.
came home and you were like, oh, it's been so great. You looked forward to it. And then you
Yeah.
soaked her up and then you sent her off.
Yeah.
Why do we have this story about it being this sad thing? Why do we have this story? And then
I'll tell
they
you
hear the
why.
story too, like, oh, you're moving out. Oh, you're leaving. You're launching, right? We even use the word launching. Well, that's a story. We don't know that's going to happen. Where does that even come from?
Well, I think as moms, a lot of our identity gets wrapped up in our kids and what they're doing. And also a lot of our time. I mean, let's face it, if we're not full-time working moms, and even if we are, we spend a lot of time thinking about caring for, being with our kids. And that feels like it's going to be this huge hole when they're gone. But
Oh,
what kind of opportunity does that open up? Right. And that is what I've been realizing. Um, and I feel like after the launch is over, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be better than I was after Bella's launch was over. Because even then, when I said all that stuff, I was holding it in my body. I'm not going to do that this time. Because when my emotions come, I can look at them
and allow for them.
and allow.
And one of the things I thought about that I wanted to remember to say to you is, remember when I did that trip to Costa Rica and I had like a lot of guilt about going for a long time?
Yes. Yep.
And everybody was, and I felt like people, when I told them what I was doing, their initial reaction was like, oh, really? Like, really, you're going to do that for yourself? And so that added to the guilt. And so I was like, okay, I don't want to feel guilty, right? I don't want to, for you, I don't want to feel sadness. I don't want to be upset.
Yeah.
And you can't not do something. So you have
Right.
to change it into something. So I changed that guilt into gratitude and it worked.
Yeah.
And it changed Isla's experience about me being gone for so long.
Yeah, it's all about
Instead of
how you
me
frame
walking
it.
around like, oh, I'm so sorry I'm leaving you for so long. I'm so sorry I'm doing this. I was
Yeah.
like, I am so grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful that my love for you is so strong, and you know that when we come back, we're gonna spend this great time together. I'm just turned it on to gratitude. So you can't not be sad. You can't,
Right.
you
You
have to
can't
turn
not
it
be
into
sad.
something.
It has to be something else.
So what is it for you? What can you turn it into? It's not a loss. It's not sadness. Or it could be, but you can reframe it, is what we're saying.
Well, it's a good question. Um, I mean, I'm trying to think of what is reasonable
Yes,
for
you
me,
always say that. Yes.
because I mean, gratitude would actually work. I'm so grateful that she has this opportunity. I'm so grateful that she's brave enough to do it. I'm so grateful that she has a family that she's going to be living with. I'm so grateful that we're able to support her in this opportunity. I'm so grateful that I'm at a place where I'm not clinging to her and not letting her go.
So is that your word?
I think it might be. I mean, I am excited. That came to mind, excitement. I am excited for her, but I actually I think gratitude really works here, because there are a lot of things I'm really grateful for. She's peeking through the door because she's waiting on this printing.
Oh,
She's about to do an SAT prep. So as soon as this is ready, I'm gonna hand it to her.
okay.
Yeah.
Know you? I
Yeah.
had a word
Well,
that
I
I
mean,
thought
that
might work
that,
for
that
you.
helps. Gratitude. I'm grateful for this whole thing. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm grateful for this opportunity for me, because guess what? I'm gonna have time to do a lot of things I've wanted to do this year career-wise. And she'll be back next year. I'm grateful for the opportunity again, like I had with Bella. She left for 2 years and she came back. And those 2 years were awesome. And I think it'll be the same way with Cade. Because I think there's a sense of appreciation on both sides. Yeah.
Okay, I'm wondering, knowing, like you always want, you have that realistic piece, right? You're like, needs to be realistic. So as you're going in these next couple of days, getting her ready to go to Boston, when you feel sad,
Yeah.
what do you need to remember? What do you want to remember? And how are you going to do that?
Well, I'm going to have to remember how grateful I am. I'm going to have to remember what I'm grateful about and why. I also am going to need to remember that most of what's making me sad is a story that isn't right here in this moment. I was just writing about that this morning, about past and future, and that's what's making me cry, right? Because we had a great year
Past that.
and we might not have a great year, right? But of course we're going to have a great year,
We don't
right?
know.
But that's not here. We don't know. And I don't mean we might not have a great year. Like, I'm very optimistic that she's going to have an incredible year. I mean, I don't even think it's possible that she's not. I think probably my fear stems from my year. Like, what is that going to look like with no kids around? But there's so much. And I still have my kids and they'll still take up a lot of space.
Yeah, it's fear.
Yeah, it's always fear.
Okay. And the opposite of fear is
Love.
okay. So maybe that would be worth spending time. And I know you have, but when you have those fear thoughts about this year, there's so much possibility. What would you, like spend time thinking about what you could love about this year?
Yeah.
I mean, my brother-in-law, he had kids all over the country. Go ahead.
Kate, here's your SAT stuff. Love you too.
He had kids all over the country, and they were all having these awesome experiences, just like you guys. Like, I could be excited myself just thinking about a family Zoom call and
Yeah.
how fun that's going to be.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, that's something I hadn't even thought of, but that's not something that my other kids would do with me in college, but they would probably all do it because she's in Italy.
Yeah, they want to know what she's doing.
Yeah, totally. Yep. There's tons of opportunity. She's also already told me that I have to take a picture of the dogs every day because we got these digital frames where we have an app and you can put it in. So daily, I'm going to be taking pictures of the dogs to put on the app so she can see new pictures every day.
Plenty of love. Plenty of love.
There's so much love. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, do you need anything today? You want to talk about anything for today, or we?
No, my parents are coming. We're having a big dinner together. That's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. Lots
Yep.
of love.
Lots of love.
They wouldn't be coming if she wasn't going.
No, they wouldn't. Exactly. So today holds great opportunity.
Okay, what do you want to remember about this conversation?
I want to remember where to look for love. I want to remember to be grateful when I feel sad. I also want to remember that feeling sad is not a bad thing. It's okay. And the most interesting thing is I'm kind of a crier, so I spend a lot of time trying not to cry. But I know that when I actually look straight at it, I stop crying. If I welcome my tears, they don't always come. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Instead of sitting and trying not to come. I mean, sometimes they do, and they needed to, right? It's a release. It's one of those things that moves the stress through your body, right? Crying. And sometimes a good cry is great, but not if you're stuck in it, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. But
Oh. Between like being a cathartic cry and just like being stuck in the cry.
yeah, like when it comes and I think to myself, what can I be grateful for? I'll have to see. Does that stop the tears? Does it not stop the tears? It's okay either way.
Either way.
Yeah.
And then I'm curious, as when you cry, is it about you? Is the crying about your, I don't want to use the word, but in your mind, loss, which
Right.
it's not, it's not,
Right.
but is the crying about you?
I mean,
Or-
yeah. The crying's not about, I know she has everything she needs.
Mm.
I know she's going to be great. I know she's going to experience huge growth and expansion. It's not about her. It's definitely about me. And it also feels like this collective I went to a yoga class yesterday morning, and uh, a lot of my good like yoga friends, the people that I see in class who are also moms, who are also launching, or just have launched. I felt like I could feel this collective, and maybe it was me projecting, but I could feel this collective feeling of
Oneness.
what it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, what it is letting go.
Okay.
And letting go is really important. It's something you do every day.
Do you feel that in any way that you have let go of Bella? A junior in college? Or do you feel as connected as you want to feel?
I feel as I feel connected to her. It's a great question, because what all I'm letting go of is them being under my roof, and me asking them to clean their room and do the dishes and get their homework done. And I'm letting go of the hugs. I'm gonna miss that.
That
Um,
one's fair. But
huh?
like, what
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna get a little woo-woo here, but the love doesn't change at all.
No, it doesn't.
The love that she has for you, the love you have for her, and your connection, I don't think that location changes that necessarily. It doesn't have to. And it
It
can
doesn't.
actually improve
No.
it.
It 100%. I've told you that myself,
Yeah.
but a long time ago, back when Bella
No,
left
I
for
learned
school.
from you. Why I learned from you.
I mean,
Hey,
it's funny that you reminded me of that, because I had forgotten that part of it. It's so true. I mean, like, you let go of all those little nitpicky things that sometimes come in between you, and you're able to just have this great relationship that's different. It's different, but it's in a lot of ways, I don't want to say better or worse, but it's just as wonderful.
and then think about how important this is as she grows. Your relationship has to change, right? You can't still be nagging them, right?
No,
Otherwise, how do you become the mother, the grandmother, the mother-in-law
yeah,
you need to be? There needs to be some space, physical
yes,
space, but just
yep,
not maybe emotional connection space. So you live your own life, you clean your own room, you make your own avocado toast, you do your things,
yeah,
and I'm here so that we can continue on our beautiful path together.
yeah, exactly. And I think looking for the opportunity is huge. Like, there's so much opportunity for me right now to do
Oh,
the
yeah.
things that that I to focus on the things that I really want to focus on.
If it were me, I'd have to make a list, like, right, all the things that I want to do.
Right. That's a great idea. Put them up. Um, and I think, honestly, I think it'll be, because I've experienced this. I think after the launch might be easier. It's this anticipation, right? But and this feeling something coming in my body, you know, all of it. And
Oh, hold
then,
on 1 second, Aaron. Hi, back.
um, I, I think it'll be interesting to talk after the launch to see.
I want to make sure we do this after the launch.
Right. And I don't know if it's after the double launch, because I've got this one, and then I come back, and a week later I take Alex. So um it's going to be a double whammy, but I also think it might be like cathartic, because I get to go out and spend a whole weekend with both Bella and Alex after Kate is gone.
And you're
Um,
busy. I think that helps.
Yeah.
Something.
And yeah. So it'll be interesting. I think it's about gratitude, opportunity, and finding the love.
Yep. I'm glad you talked about letting the crying happen and how
Yeah.
you do that. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's fine to let that happen. And you know what? At the end of yoga class, I cried through most of yoga class. At the end of yoga class, I saw a friend who I know pretty well. I'm not super close to. She just launched her daughter. She's like, oh, she's doing great. I'm so happy for her. You know, how about Alex? I was like, oh, Alex doesn't leave till after Labor Day. And as soon as I started to say, but Kate leaves, I started crying. And she hugged me and she was like, you're going to be fine. But she didn't know Kate was going to Italy. But it just is, it's okay. Like, it's okay to cry in front of other people. It's
and
okay.
maybe
And,
connecting. Maybe
and
this is,
connecting.
you
And that
showed
was
your
a connection,
vulnerability.
right, that I didn't have with her before. Exactly. Vulnerability,
Okay.
all the things.
Thank you for sharing this with everybody. You're a brave soldier. You're awesome.
Sure. Yeah. You got to be real.
Gotta be real. So, okay, anything else you want to say?
No, thank you for suggesting this,
Yeah.
because it's been pretty cathartic for me. And I hope maybe it will help someone else. I don't know.
All right. Have a great day, Erin.
You too, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye.